Okay, so we're about to start our class, no props unless you know you find it helpful in certain exercises. We're going to start with some mobilizing our feet and ankles. So if you come up to standing up, I'm going to point the camera down at my feet for this, and we're going to do a little bit of toe and ankle mobility. So just to start with, from stand, you can also do this sitting in a chair if you're at home and you just want to work your feet a little bit. So just try and lift and lower your toes up and down, 10 toes. And try and get the little toe to lift. That's the one that sometimes is a little bit reluctant. And also look at your ankles. If you're lifting up your little toe by rolling your ankles in, then that's kind of not what we want. We want the ankle to stay still and to just try and only lift up the toes themselves without the ankle rolling in. So that's slightly more difficult to do. And it'll give you more of an indication of how actually are you able to lift those toes. Okay, and this is getting the muscles under the foot active. So it's never too small. These muscles really help with our balance and our daily movement. Now, if you lift up your toes, try and spread them out and see if you can see daylight, a little bit of space between each toe, and then see if you can place them down on the floor, little one, second, third, fourth, big one. Lift them up, flare them wider, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just keep doing that. You can just notice in your own feet, if this is a challenge, maybe there's some stiffness in your feet. If you notice your toes are quite clawed or hammer toes where they round over, then some foot stretching and mobility is going to help you get the tendons a bit looser. And for all of us, it's good to keep our feet mobile and strong. Last one. Now just see if you can keep your 4 small toes down and just lift just the big toe, like tap your big toe up and down. And this is a bit of brain coordination. If you're struggling to isolate your big toe, if you just bend and put your fingers on your 4 baby ones, so you can do this in a chair, teach yourself how to do it with your fingers helping. And then your brain will kind of learn where that big toe is. And then you might feel that you can do it without, but it does take practice. So if this is new, it might feel really impossible, but then it'll start to get easier. Now you should start to feel the muscles in your feet by now. So the muscles under the arch and the muscles underneath your foot are getting tired. So you're giving your foot a little workout. Okay, now let the feet relax and we're going to move on to the ankles. So if you roll out to the outside edge of your foot as far as you can, and then let the ankles roll into the inside edge. And just do this out and in rocking. And often some of us, we're either a little bit stuck in one of these directions. Often in, that's pronation, or out, that's supination. You might have heard those words thrown around. And we want the ankle to be able to do both. We don't want to get stuck in any angle. Okay, and then come back to kind of flat feet and lift and lower just your right heel. And I'm pressing down my toes. If anyone's got any big toe, especially, sometimes can be a bit arthritic and painful, don't force it if your big toe is very painful. But if it's not, if it's just stiffness, try really move it. Now keep your heel lifted, roll out to the baby toe, stretch that side of the ankle, roll back to the big toe, and just do that, like fan out. And there's lots of bones in the middle of your foot and ankle that we want to loosen up. Good. Now lift your foot off. If you need to hold on for balance, do, and try and circle your ankle. Just the ankle, rest of the leg is still. And then reverse. Now we're going to take that foot behind us into a calf stretch and try and have your legs parallel. Lean forward, my front knee's bent, my back leg's straight, and I'm getting a really strong stretch in my calf. Hold there for a few breaths. And then step up. Okay, so second leg, lift and lower the heel. And as long as it's not painful, try and get your 5 toes to really bend. And then lift the heel up and you're going to roll out to the baby toe, back to the big toe. Try and get that ankle stretch out to the side and in. Good, and then lift up, circle. All these exercises are really good to do before you go for a run or a long walk, and you want to warm up your body a bit before you get going. Take the foot back into a calf stretch, lean forward, front knees bent, back leg straight. Try to be parallel. Often the foot's like that, turned out, and then you kind of skip the stretch. So try and have parallel feet, lean into it. And then step back together. Okay, we're going to move on to a little shoulder mobilizing. And just to start with, just reach your arms up over your head and just reach up high, like you're trying to lift up out of your waist, like this section of your body you're trying to lift up out of. Interlace your hands and spin your hands the other way and keep trying to get more space in your waist between your ribs and pelvis, okay? We're going to side bend just the upper back and try and feel like you're flaring open this rib here, getting a stretch there. Come back, side bend the upper part of the back and open out that other rib. One more each way. It doesn't have to be big, but be tall. Keep that space in your waist and get that little bit of upper back mobility. Good. And then open the hands and just really big arm circle all the way out and down. And then just start to roll your shoulders back. So just really loosen them up. Forward, up, down, and back. Really exaggerate. All these mobility exercises are just things to learn and just do more often. Don't wait for a Pilates class. Do a bit every day. Your body will thank you for it. Every cell needs to move pretty much. Okay, now if we take our arms out, this is what I call the Kate Winslet, this one. So palms up. Imagine you're going to take your arms back and your chest up like you're on the front of the boat. Okay, and you're trying to shine your breastbone up and take your arms behind you, and then the spine is a little arched. Okay, and then do the opposite. So round the arm, back of the hand is going to touch. You're going to look at your toes and try and pull the blades away forward and find that upper back stretch. And then we're going to do that again. So you're going to do the kind of Kate Winslet, palms up, chest open stretch. Roll the arms in, round the upper back, breathe into that upper back. One more time each way, all the way out. Should feel pretty nice actually. And then all the way in. Good. And then just shake out your arms. Now we're going to do a little bit of standing leg strength in a sort of lunge. So if you know your balance is good, stay in the middle of the room. If you know that your balance is a little bit, can be wobbly, move yourself to where you can hold a chair or the wall. Okay, so really good, just a fitness lunge, great for our hip strength and mobility. So I'm going to take a large step back. My front foot's flat down, my back heel's lifted, and my legs are parallel. Okay, and I feel my feet are quite wide apart, like it feels quite a big position. And I'm going to try and twist my pelvis to face forward, drop my tailbone, and imagine I've got a book on my head. Okay. Now, we're going to lower down very slowly, as if you're going to almost put your knee down, but not quite. And then up, okay? So keep doing this. Just a really good quality lunge. And imagine you've got a little pot on your head. So as you bend your knees, you're not leaning forward. My spine's upright. I'm not like that. I'm upright. And then if you're upright, you'll feel a really good stretch, lengthening across that front hip, which is where most of us, very tight. Okay, so keep dropping the tail. Okay, now this last one, we're going to go into it, not all the way knee down, kind of almost knee down. Just hold yourself here, breathe, and just see if you can hold the shape for 4 counts. 3, 2, 1. Slowly stand up. It should be a little bit of burn on those leg muscles. Bring yourself to the other side. Okay, so step the other foot back. Quite a nice wide position. Front foot's flat, back heel's lifted. My body weight is equal between front and back. And again, you can keep it as smaller if you've got knee problems. You don't have to go as low. When you're ready, go down. It should feel challenging on your balance and your leg strength. And up. So you've got that imaginary pot on your head. You're lowering your knee almost to the ground and up. Keep dropping the tail. Remember, you can do this holding on to something, and you can do a smaller, less deep version. So there's lots of ways you can adapt the exercise. This is basically the ability to get off the floor, keeping our bodies strong enough to be able to get up off the ground. That's it. So one more time. And then we're going to pause on this last one and do that hold. So hold where you can hold it. It's a pretty challenging position to stay in. Just calm, breathe, and just see if you can hold yourself where you are for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then gently stand up. Okay, give your legs a little shake. So you do one more leg one. We're going to pretend we're sitting in a chair, that squatting exercise. So feet wide, arms out. Imagine there's a chair behind you, and you're going to just slowly sit down as on your little pretend chair, and then stand up. Okay? Again, it can be less deep if you have knee problems, but really what our joints need is strength and mobility. So if it's not painful, it's really good to work on these big strength exercises. And we're going to sit down on this final one. Hold yourself there. Just hold yourself in a deep squat. Lift the tummy. Breathe. Nice and calm. See if you can go a little bit lower. Just do a centimetre and then a centimetre up. A centimetre down. A centimetre up. 2 more times. You should be getting a little bit of thigh burn doing this. And then all the way up to standing. Give your legs a good shake. Now, before we go onto our mats, we're going to stretch those leg muscles that we just worked with a thigh stretch. So you might want to hold on to something. You're going to reach back and try and grab your foot. If you have a very tight thighs or a sore knee, you can use a band around your foot and hold a band or a piece of cloth to stretch. If that's all your knee can do, that's all your knee can do. If you've got a healthy knee, try and grab into a full thigh stretch and then try and tuck your tail under. Okay, now if you're able to, I don't want my knee in front of me like that. I want to take my thigh bone back a bit, and that's where I get the big stretch. Okay, switch sides, and remember you can use a prop if you've got very tight quads or you've got a knee that's a little stiff. Stretch out those legs. Being tight in the front of your leg and hip is often combined with the tightness in the lower back. So if you know you're somebody that finds roll-ups are not your exercise, you're probably pretty tight in the quads and front hip muscles as well. Just they often are sort of, that goes like that. Okay, good. So we've kind of done our little kind of mobility sequence, and we're going to move on into some just regular Pilates mat work. So we're going to go down onto our mats. Let's start with a cat stretch. So if you come onto your hands and knees, and just start to move your spine around, basically. So just starting to loosen up the actual spine itself. So we're going to round the spine, curl ourselves in, curve your back, and then lengthen out into a flat back, and maybe a little shine your chest forward, a little upper back arch. Okay, just go a couple of times, round, 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 and then arch a little bit up. One more time. And then arch. Good. Now find a sort of flat back, and we're going to stretch our feet again. Now, if you have got a big toe that's very painful, don't force this. But if it's just stiffness, try and bend your toes under, like in this position. Okay. And if all you can tolerate is just rocking a bit back and forward, stretching out your toes and your feet, then just keep at this one. If you know your feet are okay in that position, see if you can sit back on your heels and just really try and stretch your feet. You're trying to get your 5 toes to bend forward, and it's stretching all that tissue at the bottom of your foot. And it can feel quite strong and intense, but your feet feel really nice afterwards. It does kind of loosen up the plantar fascia, that bit at the bottom of the foot. Okay, and we're going to come off our pointed feet, give them a little loosen up. We're going to come and sit around, and we're going to start with some half roll backs. So come to the front of your mat, and we're going to do a little kind of long arms position today. So today I've got my legs together, my inner thighs are hugging together, and I'm going to take my arms together and hug my long straight arms together. They're like Charlie's Angels. Okay, I'm going to curl my tail under and try and make it from that lower part of your spine, and you're going to round a little bit backwards. Now, Don't go so far your feet lift up. So how far back is going to be different on all of us. And then breathe out and sit up. Okay, so just see where is the spot where it's working your tummy muscles, but your feet aren't flying up in the air. Keep trying to curl the tail under. So it's that last bit of the pelvis rolling under that's opening up the lower back. That's often we skip because it's really stiff down there often. Round under. Now just try and curl the tail under. Think of the tummy pulling back a little bit. Now keep your long arms and you're going to turn your two arms to one corner of the room into a little twist. Now push with one arm. I'm going to push with my right arm and push myself to the other corner. And I'm going to keep twisting. My legs are really still. I'm hugging my inner thighs, so the lower half of my body is not moving. It's just that waist. And then come back to center, sit yourself up. Okay, we can do that one more time. So how far back you go is individual, remember. If you're good, if you're strong and fit, you can go further back than that, as long as your feet stay on the ground. So round backwards again, should be pretty challenging on your abdominals, this position. And we're going to make a little twist to one corner. Come back to center, and we're going to twist to the other corner. Come back to center, one more each way. If you feel good, go a bit lower towards the floor. And then we're going to breathe out and we're going to try and sit ourselves up from that position. Okay, now last one, we're going to roll all the way down onto our back. And if you feel good, keep your arms up and go higher with the arms for more challenge. Or use your hands for a supported roll back. Curl the tail under and roll down with control. So you're really supporting yourself onto your back. Lie on your back. Once you're on your back, let's separate our feet hip distance apart. Take a couple of moments. Shoulders are relaxed, arms are long, wrists are long. I'm just lying there with nice straight arms. And I'm just going to do some pelvic tilt, so super simple to start with. I'm going to deepen my lower abdominals and just tip the marble into my navel. Pelvic tilt. And then lengthen back to a flat. And again, breathe out, deepen the tummy as you do your little pelvic tilt. And then lengthen back. Now we're going to progress this into our pelvic curl. So deepen the tummy. As you curl your tail under, keep pulling your tailbone underneath you and peel your spine off the mat, vertebra by vertebra. Stand on your feet, press down with your feet. And as we roll down the spine, try and really roll through those back ribs, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Now we're going to keep repeating this. Try and learn about your body if you're more experienced in Pilates. So try and concentrate. Watch that your mind doesn't start drifting off into other thoughts. Try and really feel your spine and where are the restricted areas. And we want to improve the mobility by doing this. And if you're not concentrating, it won't change. So you've got to really think, use your brain. Where is the stiff bit? Can I actually roll through that bit? And just keep trying your best on the bit that's a little bit challenging. Okay. You can also think of pressing into 2 feet equally. Some of us are one side dominant very strongly, others less so, but try and know your body. And then roll back down. Good. Now we're going to do the last one with the arms reaching back. So take the arms to the ceiling. Do one more time, just a simple pelvic curl, but simple, but a lot going on. Check your feet are equally weighted, your knees are reaching forward, and I'm trying to tuck my pelvis under more. I'm going to stretch my arms back over my head. Now imagine your neck super duper long. When you roll down, don't roll down fast, go slowly and try and feel each segment going down. Rolling down, you might need to lift your arms up in the air a bit if your shoulders are tight. You might need to be more like there if you've got stiffness in your shoulders. Roll all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Feel like your back's really long. Okay, I'm going to take my hands behind my head into a regular ab curl. So lift the elbows, breathe out, curl the chest up and look at your knees. And then lengthen the spine back down. Nice and simple. But again, the more experienced you are, the more advanced you are, the more you're looking for the details. And then come back. Now we're going to breathe out and curl up. Reach the arms long, grab your legs and try and curl a little bit higher with your upper body. Now breathe And when you breathe out, look at your tummy. See if you can feel your abdominals pulling in deeper on your exhale. See if you can let go. Hold for one more breath. Put your hands back behind your head. And then rest your head down. We can do that one more time. This is like a prep for the 100. So we curl up. We're building that abdominal strength. We're trying to let go, which is harder work for our tummy muscles. Lift ourselves up a little more. And then letting go, that's again more challenging. So if you're quite new to Pilates or you're a bit injured, do a few more of those feet down prep for the 100 and you'll get stronger doing that. If you're fit and healthy, we're going to actually do the 100. So only do this if you know your body's happy and you're strong enough. You're going to reach your arms to the ceiling. You're going to bring your knees into your chest. Okay, when you're ready, you're going to curl your head and shoulders up and you're either going to take your legs to tabletop or if you're strong and fit, out straight. Now, 10 breaths we're aiming for. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Remember, you can take a break. This is an exercise to build up to, not necessarily do straight away. It might take many years to build up to it. Breathe in. Breathe out. You should be feeling your tummy a lot and not your neck, basically. Breathe in. And out. If you feel really good, try lowering your legs a bit down. This makes it harder. If it's too much on your back, bring your legs up a bit. Do 2 more breaths. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. Hug your knees into your chest. Rest your head. Give your head a little roll around and let your neck really relax. So if any tension crept in, just kind of relax it out. We're going to rock up to sit. Now we come into the roll up. So know your body. If you're happy doing roll ups, straighten your legs, reach your arms, go for some full roll ups. If you know roll ups aren't your thing, do the half roll back again with me. Okay, so I'm going to bend my knees, I'm going to reach my arms out, and I'm just going to go a couple of times the half roll back. And then breathe out and sit up. And again, rounding back, curling my tailbone under. And breathe and sit up. Now, if you want to try doing it with your band for a few more repetitions, you can switch into that mode with your strap. If you know that's still really hard for you, just do a couple more and then roll down onto your back and do a few pelvic curls. Those of you that are confident with roll-ups, keep going into your roll-ups. So there's an exercise for everybody and we're all different. If you're doing your roll-up, you want to be keeping your legs really still and moving your spine up and down, having a little stretch forward to your toes. We're going to do it one more time. And all the way up. Good. Now we're going to lie on our back and stretch our hips a little bit. So whichever version of the roll-up you just did, bring yourself to lying on your back. Take one leg to tabletop, hands behind your thigh, and you're going to just do a little stretch bend. Okay, really simple. Try and keep your tail down. Watch that you're not tucking your pelvis. If you can keep it level, you will get a really better stretch through the back of the leg. Hold your leg there and do 4 times ankle point flex. And then we're going to put that foot down and do that on the other leg. So just a simple stretch, hands behind the thigh, stretch, bend your leg, loosen up your hamstring a little bit. Keep your legs straight and 4 times ankle point flex. Now we're going to do the 1 leg circle or the single leg circle. If you know your body's happy doing this with a band rather than the full version, go ahead, grab your band. Sorry, the fire alarm's setting off. And lie on your back. That would be the plumbers. Oh, sorry. Okay, so reach out your legs straight, anchor your body onto the back of the mat. Very unpleasant noise. Left leg press down, right leg come up in the air, and we're going to do our single leg circle. Okay, so you can go across the body, circle down, round and up. Cross the body, circle down, round and up. 2 more times this way. Hopefully somebody's going to turn off that fire alarm, and then the other way. Out, round, up. If the house is on fire and this is the last you see of me, I'm sorry. And up, good. Bend that in, have a little stretch. Slide your right leg out down the mat. Take your left leg up to tabletop. And we're going to do 5 each way. So you go cross the body, round and up. Cross the body, round and up. 2 more. Sorry about that. Somebody's turning it off. 4 the other way. Out, round, up, out, round, up. Good. Bend it in. Have a little stretch. Sorry, they're doing lots of pipe work, so they're using that little firing thing, setting off the fire alarm. Okay, so if you're happy doing roll-ups, stretch your legs and do a roll-up. To sit, otherwise hug your knees, take a little stretch, deep breath, then you're going to rock yourself up. Okay, bring your hips forward and we're going to roll like a ball. So if roll-ups are challenging from you, I highly recommend doing this behind your knees. That'll make it a little easier to curve in your lower back. If you know you're happy doing roll-ups, the full version's holding the ankles, okay? Choose your level, try and feel your deep abdominals. We're going to try and curl the tail under and smoothly roll the spine back and exhale, rock up, okay? Inhale, back should feel like a massage on your spine. We're trying to get all those little joints moving, get blood flow into the stiff bits. And balance, one more time. And balance, good. Rest your feet down. We're going to do a couple more abdominal exercises. The single leg stretch, double leg stretch, and then the crisscross, okay? So reach your arms out. We're going to try and roll back into it. So round backwards. Feel free to use your hands. Keep rounding back until you feel your mid-back touch, but not your shoulder blade. So I'm here, like in my 100 curl up. And then I'm going to bring my legs up one by one. Take 2 hands on one shin, one leg out. Now, look, feel where your head, neck, and spine are. Keep them really still as you switch legs. Switch, pull, switch, pull. So we're trying to get a really strong, stable spine. And you're challenging that with the legs moving. And pull 4 more times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hug your knees in, rest your head, give your head a break. So the double leg stretch, if this isn't for you, put your feet down and just do chest lifts. This is a hard abdominal exercise. Breathe out, lift your chest up, hug your heels together. Now feel where your spine is, head, neck, and spine. Keep it the same as you stretch your arms and legs out. My spine hasn't changed. I'm looking at my feet when the legs are straight. I'm not looking at the ceiling. So my head, neck, and spine are stable, and I'm moving my limbs. And that's going to work my center muscles. 1 more. And in, rest your head. Last little ab blast is the crisscross. So interlace your hands, bring them behind your head. When you're ready, breathe out, curl up into your chest curl. We're going to twist across, opposite shoulder to knee. And then twist across. Try not to rush it. Slow is hard work, probably harder than quick. You can't use momentum. Twist across, try and twist from the base of the rib cage. So it's not an elbow flap, it's a rotation in the spine. 1 more each way. And twist. Good. Hug your knees in, rest your head. Give your head a little roll. Let's just stretch out. So reach your arms and legs out. Take a full length stretch out and just point and flex your feet a couple of times. And just really stretch out through the waist. Imagine you're trying to get a bit more space in your waist. Now we're going to come up to sit. If you're a roll-up person, practice your roll-up. If you're not a roll-up person, hug your knees into your chest and do a little rock up. Okay, we're going to do 2 seated spine exercises. So feel free to grab a block if you know your hips are happier on a block. Take your legs out, sit up with a really upright, tall spine. You're going to reach your arms out, grow super tall, and as you breathe out, nod your head, round your upper back, round and reach forward, and stretch your back muscles. And then roll back up. Lift the spine tall, and then breathe out, round the spine over, reach forward, stretch your back muscles, and then roll back up. We can do it 1 more time. Grow tall, and then breathe out, round and reach. Coming back up. Good. Take the arms up, we're going to go to the saw, keep the legs still, lift up in the waist, we're going to twist to one side, and then you're going to take one arm towards the opposite foot and reach for it. Come back up and untwist. Lift and twist, reach across, come back up, unwind. One more each side, twist, reach across, up and back. One last one, twist, reach across, up and back, and then take a rest. Okay, before we go into our lying on our tummy sequence, I'm just going to practice. I've been doing in classes this week a little bit of push-up practice. So we're going to do tiny push-ups in a box position. Firstly, triceps, which is elbows narrow, and then wider hands for a chest press style push-up. So they're both valid versions of a push-up, but it's interesting to really get the detail of each one, okay? So we'll try push-ups again at the end, so you don't have to do a really hard one now, do a little simple one. So on your hands and knees, sorry, keep your spine nice and tall. Try and spread out your fingers and weight bear through the whole palm and the whole wrist. Okay, you can do this against a wall if you have wrist problems or it's too strong in this position. Okay, now if you bend your elbows towards your knees, so you're kind of lowering your face just in front of your fingers, and then stretch. Okay, and if you keep your elbows going in, so if I do it this way, my elbows are going in, they're not going out. And that style of push-up focuses more on the back of the arm and the upper back a little bit more. Okay, now, so that's tricep push-ups. Take your hands wider, a little bit wider. Now this time, elbows wider, we're going to do a chest press push-up. So this time when you go down and up, your elbows are pointing to the side. This style of push-up emphasizes the chest muscles a bit more, and it's a bit less back arm. This is often more of a fitness style class push-up. It's a bit easier, you can feel that. So bring your arms in one more time. So in Pilates, we tend to do tricep push-ups because we like to make it hard in Pilates. And this one is generally a harder style push-up, but it's really good for you. It's very strengthening for the back of the arm and your upper back. So just do 4 mini ones, doesn't have to be big, but try and keep those elbows in. And that would be how, when you're doing eventually a full push-up, you'd be trying to do that, okay? Good, now let's come onto our forearms and give our wrists a break. And in order to train our bodies to be strong enough to do a push-up, we need that core strength. So we're gonna do a plank on our forearms. So if you step out, lower your hips, try and get yourself in a straight line, and just see if you can hold this position. Okay, it should be a little shaky in the middle. See if you can just stay here and breathe. Okay, now if you're feeling good, you can rock a little forward and back here. So if you come onto your tippy toes and your weight goes over your arms more, that's a little intense. And then rock back, let your heels push back, that's a little bit back. So you can go forward and back. And you can feel how that slightly changes the workload in your trunk. Hold there for another breath if you can. And then we're going to bring our knees down and we're going to lie down on our front. Put your hands flat and just give yourself a breather. Okay, so just take a breath here, settle yourself in. Okay, good. Now we're going to move on into our spinal extension, so arching up the spine. Take the hands to the side, palms down, fingers in line with collarbones. My elbows are a little up and my shoulders are rolled back. Okay, as I grow tall, I'm going to think of lifting my chest up. Shine your chest across the floor in front of you, and then lower your spine back down. Okay, a couple more times. So grow tall, shine your breastbone forward, and then back down. One more time. And then down. Good. Now keep your face hovering and bring your arms back long to the side of you, palms facing in. Roll your shoulders back. Our shoulders really want to tip forward here and roll them back. Okay. Now hug your arms close to you if you can, and see if you can just lift the top of the arm up a bit closer to the ceiling. It's just a bit, but it's super hard. And then see if you can lift your chest up into that dart position. And then lower back down. Okay, shoulders back, reach the arms, the chest a little bit, If this is too strong for anyone, you can do the hands flat on the mat one again. This is a bit harder, this one. And then down. Good. Now use your hands and push yourself back into a little rest pose and just give yourself a little break. So round and over. If anybody's got sore knees, you can roll onto your back instead. Otherwise, just sit in your rest pose. It's a good stretch for your back and your hips. So like this. Think of taking some big breaths, rounding your spine. And if you walk your two hands to one side of the mat, and then breathe into that rib and try and expand the ribs and expand the back of the body. And walk the other way. And then a couple of deep breaths there. And then one more time, come onto your hands and knees and do a few more cat stretches. So really simple again, just moving the spine again. Just chine the chest forward. One more time. Good. We're going to come around to sit down. We're going to do one more set of a version of a roll up. So if you're strong and more of an intermediate Pilates person, instead of a roll up, try the neck pull, legs apart, hands behind the head. Okay, that back lean, round, down, up. If you're working at that high level, if otherwise regular roll up, or if you know you still want to modify it, use your band and do half rollbacks or full rollbacks with a band. Okay, so do whatever is the best choice for your body and just do another set of 4 or 5 roll-ups, neck pulls, half rollbacks, depending where you are in their kind of Pilates repertoire. Okay, so keep moving, keep breathing. That's it. If you're doing a full roll-up or a neck pull, you want your legs to be really anchored and still, and you're moving your spine against those stable legs. Good. We're going to do one more, and you're going to finish lying on your back. And so wherever you are with your rollbacks, just take a slow one down, lying onto your back. And then once you're there, if you've been using a prop, get rid of it and just lie on your back. And we're going to do a bridge in a minute. So bend your knees and have your feet flat down. Just take a little moment here, opening the chest, just nice relaxed arms long at your side. And let's just do a regular pelvic curl again. So you're going to deepen your tummy, tilt your pelvis and peel your back off the mat. Knees are reaching forward, feet are pressing down. And then I'm going to roll my spine down. Now, if you want to keep it at a more gentle level, just keep doing these regular pelvic curls. And those people that are feeling pretty happy and fit and healthy today, we're going to roll up first and we're going to take it into a single leg bridge in a moment. But just get yourself up in your bridge. Don't rush, get a really good setup. Tuck the tail under, rotate the pubic bone up, and then really press into your left foot and see if you can float your right leg up to tabletop. Now just stay here, press the arms back, open the chest, press your shoulders open, and push into your left foot. Now we're going to 4 times lower lift your top leg, tap and lift to tabletop, but all the time press your shoulders back, press your left foot down, and try and keep your back still. Good. Put that right foot on the floor and we're going to roll down. So have a little break, roll the spine down. Other leg. So when you're ready, roll the spine up. As your hips lift, press the back of the arm into the mat, open across your collarbones, get that nice chest stretch. Once you're here, get a good setup, tailbone under, press your right foot strongly down, pick up your left leg, get your balance. Push your arms back underneath you, push your right foot into the floor. And then 4 times, lower and lift. Keep pressing into the ground with your right foot and your 2 back arms. Upper arm. Good. Put that foot down. Press both feet into the floor, press your arms back. And then you're going to roll back down through your spine. And then just stretch out, have a little stretch. Point flex. Okay, we're going to roll onto our side. And you're going to like the back edge of your mat. So if your shoulders are healthy, head's on the arm, otherwise use a prop if you know you need to. Otherwise, feet are at the front in an angle. my hand is here. Okay, now both feet are flexed and I'm trying to press my underside leg. For me, it's my right leg. I'm trying to press it a bit down into the mat. Then I'm going to lift up my top leg an inch, reach it an inch longer so I get my little mouse hole here is lifted. There's a gap here between my waist and my mat. Okay, bring your leg in line with you, reach it long. Now I'm going to lift my top leg up and press my mat leg down and then lower. So both legs are pressing out from the center and your side hips basically are working. I'm not squashing my mouse hole. I'm spine is still. Good. One more time. Lower the leg to hip height. Now really keep this leg solid, the bottom leg pressing down to help you balance. And you're going to kick forward, forward, back, back. Keep that under leg pushing down into the floor. Back, back, forward, and back. One more time. Forward, and back. Good. Now bring that leg on top of the other leg and have a little rest for a second. Okay, now I'm going to lift up my top leg again and I'm going to turn it out. Okay, now I'm going to kick that leg up a little bit and then I'm going to squeeze it down like I'm squeezing a magic circle. I'm going to kick it up. I'm squeezing. I'm trying not to collapse my mouse hole, which is the hard bit of this one. Up, squeeze down, up, squeeze down. Now keep that leg there. Keep turning it out so you feel the back of your hip working. And you're going to circle 1, 2. Try and feel that leg is being held from your back hip, your glutes. Now reverse it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And rest. Okay. Now slide your top leg down and rest it on the mat. And we're going to do inner thigh. So you're going to lift up and lower down. Lift up, lower down. As high as you can, lift it up and down. 2 more. Keep that leg lifted, hold it there, 4 little pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down. Okay, bend your knees. We're going to come up onto our forearm and do 1 time the side plank. So you can do it on your knees. My knees a little bit back rather than forward if I'm doing it on my knees, like that. Or you can do a straight leg, stack your feet one, okay? Choose your level. I'm going to do the knees one. This is still a really good one. Don't feel you have to do straight legs. Lift up your underside, push your forearm down, and just see if you can lift your hips up. Now push down with your knee or the side of your foot, whatever is touching your mat, push into the floor and try and lift yourself higher. And just hold here. I'm going to try and hold it in a still position for 4 counts. So 4, keep breathing. 3, push the floor away. 2, and 1. Lower yourself down. Come up into the mermaid position. If this isn't good on your knees, change position, do something else. Arm up, lift your spine up tall, and then we're going to side bend over. And you're going to breathe. Just enjoy a nice side stretch. And then come up. Okay, so side 2 of our hip sequence. So take yourself, get the setup. It really helps having a good setup. So my body's at the back edge of my mat. My head, shoulders and hips are at the back edge. My legs are forward at the front edge. Hand is here. I'm pressing, my feet are flexed, so I'm pressing my underneath leg down. Okay, lift up your top leg an inch. Reach it a little bit longer so you get your side body lift. Okay, bring your leg back. Now when my top leg lifts up, my bottom leg pushes down and down, like you're pushing your leg through sticky treacle. Push away both legs. So really kind of get that side hip very parallel. If you're not feeling your side hip, check your legs are parallel. You shouldn't be feeling your quad at the front. We want to be feeling the side hip muscles. 1 more time. Now hold it there, keep that bottom leg pressing down, and we're going to do the side kick exercise. So you're going to kick forward, reach back, flex forward, reach back. Try and keep your center strong and stable. Move that hip. 2 more times. Forward, and back. Last one, and back. Good. Bring that leg onto your other leg for a break. Have a little break. Okay, now I'm going to lift up my top leg again. I'm going to point my toe, turn it out this time. So when you turn out, it's the muscles at the back of the hips that you want to feel. If you put your hand there and you do that turn out, you should feel your bum. Okay, now keep that. You're going to kick up and squeeze down. Kick up, squeeze, like you're squeezing a magic circle. Kick up, squeeze down. 2 more times. Keep that underside lifted so my body's still. Good, now keep that turn out from that wrapping back leg muscles, and you're going to circle 1, 2, 3. Well, I'm definitely feeling my burn in my back hip by now, or I am. And then let's go 4 more times, 6, 7, 8, and rest. Okay, good. Now bring that top leg and rest it on the mat. Okay, inner thighs, nice and simple. Lift up and down, up and down, nice and high. I think both inner thighs squeezing almost. Now hold it up there, last one. Hold there, 4 little pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, and down. Okay, good. Now bring yourself up into your side plank position. So choose your level on the knees or straight. If you're doing knees, bring your knees a little bit back so they're kind of in line with the wrist, in the middle of the wrist and elbow, rather than forward. Okay. And then when you're ready, lift up your underside, bring yourself up into your side plank. Hold. Now push into the floor with your forearm and your knee, and just hold yourself here. Breathing. The longer you're there, the more you've got to work to keep yourself lifting away on the ground. Couple more breaths. And then come down. Okay, come up into a mermaid position. Your hand on your shin. Take your arm up, nice and tall, and then you're going to side bend over. Breathe, and try and find that nice big stretch there. Good, and then come up. Now we're going to swing our legs around. We're going to lie back on our back and do the figure of 4 hip stretch, and then a spine twist. So just take your time, do one last little roll back if you can, just rolling through your back. And then once you're lying on your back, you're going to cross one ankle over the other knee. Take a little figure of 4 hip stretch here. And then uncross that one, cross the other one. Take a stretch here. Good. And then uncross your legs. Stretch your arms and legs out into a full length stretch out and just enjoy a lovely breath. Try and feel really long and stretched out. Circle your arms out to the side. Really enjoy a nice big arm circle. So stretch out the shoulders. We're going to bring our right knee into our chest and just take a stretch here. Okay. So just pull the thigh in. Okay, we're going to keep the opposite hand on that shin and take the other arm out to the side. And then you're going to take yourself into a spine twist. So I'm pulling my leg across my body. This hip is lifting up. I'm in black, so you might not be able to see, but I'm lifting up this side of my hip. And I'm going to turn and look at my hand on the floor. And I'm just going to breathe into that twisted position. And then roll yourself back. Okay, slide that leg long. Bring your other leg in, just take a little stretch. And if you've got a sore knee, you can always hold behind the knee for these stretches. Instead of putting my thigh into my chest, opposite hand on the shin, take yourself into that spine twist. Breathe. And then bring yourself back. Okay, hug your 2 knees in, and then just do a little rock up to sit. And we'll do our seal puppy stretch. So feet together, knees apart, and round forward. And you can just stay in your seal puppy stretch if you want to not roll. If you feel happy rolling, come a bit forward. Put your hands under your ankles, get your balance in your seal puppy shape. Feet are clamped together. Try and curl my tailbone under, so opening up my lower back. And when you're ready, you're going to try and roll in this position. So I'm going to curl my tail under to roll back. And then up. You can add the claps if you want. Keep curl the tail under, scoop the belly in, pull back. And up. One more time. Good. And then come down. Okay, good. Good job. Okay, So just for the last 5 minutes, I want to just work on those push-ups that we did, triceps and chest press. And we're going to actually do it against a wall if you've got a wall. If you haven't got a wall, you could do it on a door, or and as long as it's not going to open, or you can do it on your mat. But I think some people think it's going to be too easy against the wall, but actually it's pretty good if you can get into a good position. So I'm going to move my laptop and see if I can get a good angle. Okay, so you can see my bit of wall there. Okay, so when you're in the push-up position, I'm going to try and go further away. Okay, so when we're here, you want to be quite far away from the wall. So I'm not in. If I'm kind of that's me going, I'm going to take my feet back, and then I want to lift my heels up. So you can't see me because of that bar. So I'm not trying to get a big calf stretch. I'm letting my heels lift up. Okay, and I'm going to take my wrists. They're the same level as my shoulder, and my wrists are about as wide as my shoulders. And it's kind of like being in a plank position. Okay, now for the tricep one, you're bending your elbows, and the elbows are going down towards the floor, to the skirting board, and my forehead is going to the mat, to the wall. And then I slow motion press the whole palm and straighten. Okay, so just have a practice of tricep push-ups against a wall. See if you get your whole hand flat rather than a twisted wrist. And try and watch that you're not bending from your hip. So often people kind of do it like that. We don't want to bend at the hip. The hip joint doesn't move. You're leaning into your arms and you're just bending your elbows. Your forehead is going to hit the mat, the wall. And your elbows should be going directly down, not poking out for the tricep version. Okay, and it should be pretty challenging, especially if you go slowly. Okay, now for the chest press style push-up, take your hands wider, whole hand on the wall, elbows are going to poke out now. Lift your heels. When you come into the wall, let your elbows go wide, and then push your whole hands into the wall and press up. Out. And things. You can feel it's a different style of push-up. And this is a really good way to train your upper body strength, because often we find it really hard doing it on the mat. Okay, now, if your wrists are okay, come back to your mat and try and do those two styles of push. If you've already been doing it, Val, you can have a rest. But anyone who hasn't been on the floor already and your wrists are okay, try doing, so you can do it, if you're strong enough now, you could do it in a plank or in a half plank on your knees, if you know your body's okay doing that. Or you can stay on the wall. So I'm gonna come back to my mat. Okay, so think of, just do 4 in each position. So your tricep one is elbows in, and your chest press one is arms wider, elbows out. And when you've had enough, just sit back and give your wrists a break. And it's often the wrists that get sore, because there's lots of little bones in our wrists and they tend to get a bit niggly, but you will get stronger. If you practice, you'll get stronger and it'll start to become easier. Okay, but you've just got to keep really consistent with doing these kind of strength exercises, and your wrists will get more adapted to it. Okay, good. We're going to do a little plank walk to our feet ending. If your wrists have had enough of that, just come up differently, just stand up. If you're okay, come on, last time into a little plank, hold yourself there. Then you're going to lift your hips up into your down dog position. Have a little stretch here, so I'm just going to bend my feet again. Take a little breath. And then I'm going to walk your hands and feet towards each other. You can bend your knees if you need to. Have a little forward stretch. So nice and calm, just shake out your head, just breathe. You can bend your knees a little bit more, straighten them a little bit more. Do a little bend stretch. And then relax your arms and just slowly roll your spine up to standing upright. And then once you're upright, just do one standing roll down. So just as a little wind down after the hour of exercise, just really calm, let your head nod, think of your spine gently rounding over, arms nice and relaxed. Good, and then curl the tail under and roll back up. Good. Once you're standing upright, we're going to do our 10 rises. So find a space you can just stand with your feet flat on the mat. Okay, nice and calm. And just see if you can just really calmly rise up and down 10 times. That's it. Try to think of going directly up rather than forward and up. Try and keep the big toe down. Often the big toe wants to fly up in the air. If you can keep that big toe down, that's the strength. It's going to stop your ankles swinging out as well. And lowering nice and slowly, so that's very strengthening. Good. Now, last thing, let your heels come down. Cross your arms as if we're going to take a little balance. You're going to imagine you've got a pot on your head and you're just going to lift up one leg and just try and balance with one leg. Good. Switch, put that foot down, switch to the other leg. Now, if you're having a day where you feel a bit wobbly, keep your eyes really fixed and keep swapping legs. Maybe don't spend so long on each leg if you get the wobbles. Keep your eyes fixed. If you're somebody who's feeling like you're pretty happy today and you can balance quite well, stay on one leg a bit longer and try moving your eyes to different parts of the room. So you're flicking your eyeballs around, testing your balance, or even closing your eyes for a few seconds, see if you can still balance. So you're trying to really kind of train your brain, basically, with lots of balance tricks. And then do it the other leg if you haven't done it on both. Just a little balance. Move your eyes. Good. And then bring your 2 feet down and just finish with a nice big stretch up. So just enjoy a really lovely big stretch, like you're yawning. First thing, a lovely big stretch. Or like a cat does when it's had a nap. Just stretch your arms out and down. Good. Lovely. I'm going to finish there. I'm going to push this recording to stop. On we go.